You've been doing everything right, or so you thought. You've visualized, affirmed, scripted, meditated, and maybe even rearranged your entire bedroom based on some feng shui video you watched at 2 a.m. You've felt the feelings, seen the vision board daily, and yet, here you are, weeks or months later, still waiting, still wondering if you messed up the technique, if the universe didn't hear you, or if maybe, just maybe, this whole manifestation thing is a beautiful lie that works for everyone except you. But what if I told you that your desire has already manifested? Not will manifest or is on its way. It's done, complete, existing right now in a dimension you can't see yet, but can absolutely access. The reason you're still waiting isn't because manifestation is slow, it's because no one ever explained the bridge. See, there's a gap between the invisible realm where everything is instant and the physical world where time unfolds step by step. And most people are stuck in that gap, sabotaging the crossing without even knowing it. They're standing on the bridge, panicking, switching directions, or worse, jumping off entirely and starting over with a different method, different desire, different everything. The truth? You don't need more techniques, more rituals, or more proof that it's working. You need to understand how to walk the bridge without falling off, and that's exactly what we're about to break down. In the next few minutes, you're going to learn why manifestation feels delayed, what actually happens in that in-between space, and the exact actions that collapse time between desire and physical reality. This isn't theory, this is the operating system, and once you see it, you'll never approach manifestation the same way again. Most people don't realize they're living in two worlds at once, and that's exactly why manifestation feels like it's taking forever. There's the causal plane, where everything you've ever desired already exists, complete and whole, right this second. Then there's the physical plane, where things unfold step by step, like a movie that's already been filmed but still needs to play scene by scene. Think of it like this. When you order food through an app, the moment you hit confirm, that meal is yours. You've paid, it's done, it's assigned to you. But you don't stand at the door obsessing every second, wondering if the restaurant forgot you or if the driver got lost. You go about your life because you know it's on its way. That's the bridge most people never cross. They keep reopening the app, refreshing the screen, doubting the process, instead of simply trusting that what's been claimed in the causal realm is already making its way through the physical one. Here's where it gets interesting. The causal plane doesn't care about your logic, your past failures, or your bank account. It responds to one thing only, the feeling of certainty that it's already done. Not hope, not wishing, not, I really want this to work, but the quiet, unshakable knowing that it's yours. Neville Goddard used to say that creation is finished, and honestly, once you grasp that, everything shifts. You're not trying to make something happen. You're accepting what's already been set into motion. It's like standing at the airport baggage claim. You don't create your suitcase by staring at the conveyor belt. You wait because you know you checked it in. The problem is, most folks treat manifestation like they're not sure they even bought a ticket, so they panic, second guess, and start checking other flights. So here's your action for today. And it's beautifully simple. Pick one desire, just one, and say out loud or write down this exact phrase. It's done because I felt it's done. That's it. No rituals, no candles, no repeating it 50 times like you're trying to convince yourself. You say it once, you feel the relief of knowing it's handled, and then you let it go. You wouldn't keep texting the restaurant asking if they started cooking your food, right? Same energy here. The moment you claim it with genuine feeling, you've placed the order in the causal realm. Now, the universe, the kitchen, the driver, the entire delivery system starts moving pieces you can't even see yet. And while that's happening, there's something most people overlook that actually speeds up the whole process. Something that has nothing to do with sitting around waiting. You've probably seen those manifestation routines that look like a part-time job. Vision boards, scripting for hours, affirmations repeated until your jaw hurts, and rituals so complicated you'd need a manual just to remember the steps. Here's the truth, nobody wants to hear. The universe doesn't need a performance. It needs a moment, just one clear, emotionally charged moment, where you experience the end result as if it's already real. Neville called this living in the end, but let's strip away the mysticism for a second. Imagine you just got the promotion you've been wanting. You're not jumping up and down like you won the lottery. You're feeling that calm satisfaction. Maybe texting a friend saying, "It finally came through." That's the feeling. Not fireworks, not drama, just quiet certainty mixed with relief. When you can tap into that for even 60 seconds, you've done more than most people do with months of obsessive ritualizing. Here's a practical way to lock this in without turning it into another chore. Pick your desire and create one mental scene that happens after it's already yours. Not during, not before, but after. Let's say you want financial freedom. Don't imagine checking your bank account and seeing the number. That still carries the energy of, "I don't have it yet, so I'm checking." Instead, picture yourself casually buying something you normally wouldn't. Maybe quality coffee beans, a nicer cut of meat at the grocery store, or booking a spontaneous weekend trip, without even glancing at the price. Add one sensory detail. Feel the weight of the bag in your hand, hear the cashier say, "Have a great day," smell the fresh coffee. Then attach one simple emotion. Not euphoria, just ease. That unbothered, light feeling of, "Yeah, this is normal for me now." You don't need incense, moon phases, or the perfect time of day. You need that 60-second pocket of reality where your nervous system believes it's already happened. The magic isn't in how long you do it or how many times. It's in the authenticity of the feeling. You can't fake your way through this. Your subconscious knows when you're performing versus when you're actually experiencing. Think of it like method acting. A great actor doesn't pretend to be sad. They tap into a real memory or feeling that brings genuine sadness to the surface. Same principle here. Find that one scene, make it real for 60 seconds, let the emotion wash over you, and then, this is key, walk away. Don't keep checking if it took. Don't replay it obsessively. You experienced it, your subconscious recorded it, and now the bridge is being built in the background. But here's what most people miss. While that bridge is forming, there's a specific type of energy that either speeds up the crossing or keeps you stuck in the waiting room. There's a massive difference between waiting and living, and most people confuse the two when they're manifesting. Passive presence is sitting on the couch, scrolling through your phone, half watching a show, mentally rehearsing your desire every 5 minutes, checking for signs like you're tracking a package. That's not presence, that's anxious monitoring. Active presence, on the other hand, is when you're so absorbed in what you're doing right now that time disappears, your mind goes quiet, and you're just flowing. Maybe you're deep into a workout, completely focused on your form and breathing. Maybe you're cooking a new recipe, tasting as you go, adjusting flavors. Maybe you're learning a language, writing code, painting, building something with your hands. This is where the bridge gets built faster, because you're not energetically hovering over the construction site asking, "Is it done yet?" You're living fully in the now, and ironically, that's what collapses time between desire and manifestation. Here's why this works on a deeper level. When you're in flow, your brain waves shift into alpha or theta states, the same states you're in right before sleep or during deep meditation. In these states, you're not resisting, controlling, or forcing anything. You're open, receptive, and aligned. Think about the last time you had a breakthrough idea or solution. It probably didn't come while you were stressing over it. It came in the shower, on a walk, or while you were cooking dinner. That's not coincidence. That's your subconscious working in the background, while your conscious mind is occupied with something fulfilling. The universe isn't rewarding you for doing nothing. It's responding to the fact that you're vibrationally available. You're not clutching, you're not desperate, you're not sending out, "Where is it?" energy. You're just here, fully engaged, trusting the process without needing to micromanage every step. So here's your action, and it's non-negotiable if you want to see real movement. Block out 90 minutes today for pure flow. Not multitasking, not, "I'll try to focus." 90 minutes where you're completely immersed in an activity that challenges you just enough to keep you present, but not so much that you're stressed. Hit the gym and chase a new personal record. Study something you've been putting off. Cook an elaborate meal from scratch. Build that playlist you've been meaning to organize. Create content, practice an instrument, organize your space with intention. Whatever pulls you in, The rule is simple. During those 90 minutes, you don't think about your desire, you don't visualize, you don't check your phone for signs, you're not allowed to monitor the bridge, you're trusting it's being built while you're busy living. But even with this active presence dialed in, there's still a trap that catches almost everyone. Let's talk about the energy that kills more manifestations than doubt ever could. Desperation. You know that feeling when you want something so badly that you can't breathe until you get it? That's the equivalent of squeezing water in your fist. The harder you grip, the more it slips through your fingers. Compare that to holding water gently in your cupped hands. It stays. It's there. You can drink from it whenever you want. That's the energy of detachment, but not the cold, I don't care kind that people mistake for indifference. It's more like ordering coffee at your favorite cafe. You walk in, you say what you want, you pay, and then you sit down and check your messages or read a book. You're not standing at the counter staring at the barista, panicking that they forgot your order, second-guessing if you said it loud enough, or wondering if you should order again just to make sure. You know it's coming, so you relax. That's the exact vibration that allows manifestation to move from the causal plane into your physical reality without friction. The tricky part is that wanting something is natural and totally fine. It's the needing that creates resistance. When you need something desperately, you're sending a signal to the universe that says, I don't have this, I'm incomplete without it, and I'm not okay until it shows up. That's a frequency of lack, and lack attracts more lack. It's like trying to get a job while reeking of desperation in the interview. Employers can smell it a mile away, and it repels them. But when you want something from a place of choice rather than necessity, everything shifts. You're saying, this would be great, I'd love to experience it, and I'm open to receiving it, but I'm also good right now. That's the energy of someone who already has options, who already feels abundant, who's just adding another layer of goodness to an already solid life. And that's magnetic. Think about it. You're way more attracted to people who have their own thing going on than to someone who's clingy and desperate for your attention, right? Same principle with manifestation. Here's your practical action to shift out of desperation and into calm certainty. Take whatever desire you've been clutching onto and rewrite it in a neutral, empowered tone. Instead of, I need this promotion so badly, or I have to meet someone because I'm so lonely. Rephrase it like this. I choose to experience financial growth through my career, or I'm open to connecting with someone who matches my energy. Notice the difference? You're still declaring what you want, but you've removed the panic, the urgency, the I'll die if this doesn't happen energy. Write it down once, read it out loud, and then, this is crucial, go back to your regular routine. Make breakfast, go to work, hit the gym, call a friend, watch something you enjoy, live your life as if the order's already in the kitchen and you're just enjoying your day while it's being prepared. But while you're doing that, something subtle starts happening that most people completely miss. Here's where most manifestation teachings drop the ball. They make it sound like you just set the intention, sit back, and wait for a miracle to knock on your door with a gift-wrapped box. That's not how the bridge works. The universe operates through what I call the invisible GPS. Subtle nudges, quiet impulses, and seemingly random thoughts that guide you toward your desire without fanfare or fireworks. It's not going to send you a burning bush or a neon sign that says, do this now. It's way more understated than that. You'll get a random urge to text someone you haven't talked to in months. You'll feel like taking a different route home. You'll remember an old project file buried in your computer and suddenly feel compelled to open it. These aren't coincidences, they're breadcrumbs. The problem is, most people dismiss them because they're not dramatic enough, or they second-guess themselves into paralysis thinking, nah, that's just my imagination. Meanwhile, the bridge is literally paving itself, and you're ignoring the construction crew. Let me give you a real example of how this chain typically unfolds, because once you see the pattern, you'll start noticing it everywhere. You get a nudge to message an old colleague, nothing urgent, just a, hey, how've you been, kind of thing. You follow it, and during that conversation, they mention a project they're working on. That project reminds you of someone else who might be interested, so you make an introduction. That introduction leads to a coffee meeting. At that coffee meeting, someone overhears part of your conversation and jumps in because they're dealing with the exact thing you're skilled at. Boom. Opportunity, connection, contract, relationship, whatever your desire was. None of those steps looked like the thing when they were happening. The nudge to text your colleague didn't feel like manifesting your dream client or partner. It felt like a casual impulse. But that's how the bridge operates. Micro actions that stack into major outcomes. You don't see the whole staircase, you just take the next step that feels right. So here's your action for the next 7 days. And this one's going to reveal just how active this process really is. Grab a notebook or open a notes app and create 3 columns. Label them nudge, did I follow it, and what happened. Every day, pay attention to those subtle impulses, the urge to go somewhere, reach out to someone, try something new, revisit an old idea. Write down the nudge in the first column. In the second column, mark whether you followed through or ignored it. In the third column, track what unfolded as a result, even if it seems unrelated at first. You're going to be shocked at how many random events were actually direct responses to the nudges you followed, the ones you ignored. You'll start seeing the missed bridges, the opportunities that were right there but didn't fully form because you didn't take that one small step. This isn't about forcing or hustling, it's about staying awake and responsive. But even when you're doing all of this right, there's a specific point in the process where almost everyone sabotages themselves without realizing it. There's a psychological trap that catches nearly everyone right when they're about to break through. And it's called the middle of the bridge syndrome. You've set your intention, you've felt it real, you've been following nudges, and then nothing obvious happens for a few days. Suddenly doubt creeps in. You start wondering if you did it wrong. You see someone else's technique on YouTube and think, maybe that's the missing piece. So you switch methods. 3 days later, still no dramatic shift, so you try another approach, then another. Before you know it, you've hopped between 5 different systems in 2 weeks, and you're more confused and frustrated than when you started. Here's what's really happening. You're standing in the middle of the bridge, and instead of just walking forward, you keep turning around, running back to the starting point, and trying a different bridge altogether. Every time you switch, you restart the process. The universe isn't ignoring you. You're just not staying on one path long enough for the pieces to click into place. This syndrome has specific symptoms, and if you've been manifesting for a while, you've probably experienced at least a few of them. You become obsessed with hunting for signs, checking angel numbers, interpreting every little coincidence as proof or lack thereof, stalking your manifestation like it's an ex's Instagram profile. You keep mentally checking in on your desire multiple times a day, asking yourself, has it shown up yet? Is it close? Did I mess it up? You consume more content than you actually apply, binge-watching videos and reading articles about manifestation instead of just living your life with the trust that it's handled. And the worst part? You start treating techniques like lottery tickets, thinking that if you just find the right one, everything will magically fall into place overnight. That's not faith, that's gambling. And the house always wins when you're gambling with your own manifestation because you're constantly resetting the timer instead of letting the process mature. Here's your action to break this cycle, and it requires commitment. Choose one scene, the same mental image you created earlier, that post-desire moment with the sensory detail and the calm emotion, and commit to it for 14 days straight. No switching, no adding extra techniques, no, but what if I also try this other thing? 14 days. That's it. Every night before bed, you revisit that scene for 60 seconds, feel it real, and then sleep. During the day, you live actively, you follow nudges, you stay present, but you don't change the scene, you don't second-guess the method, and you don't go searching for a better way to do it. The bridge needs time to solidify, and the only way it solidifies is through consistency and trust. Most people never see their manifestations because they keep demolishing the foundation before the structure can stand. But if you can hold steady for just 2 weeks, you'll notice something shift. Not necessarily the full manifestation landing in your lap, but an undeniable sense that things are moving. And once you've got that momentum, there's a way to strip this whole process down even further. Let's be honest, most people aren't failing at manifestation because they're doing too little. They're failing because they're doing too much. You've got scripting in the morning, affirmations at lunch, visualization before bed, subliminals playing while you sleep, crystals on your desk, and a vision board that looks like a crime scene investigation wall. It's exhausting, and worse, it's counterproductive. Every technique you pile on top of another is another thing your mind has to track, another potential point of failure, another reason to feel like you're not doing enough. Here's the truth that'll set you free. You don't need 80% of what you're doing. In fact, that 80% is probably the very thing creating resistance and making you feel like manifestation is this complicated, high-maintenance process. It's not. When you strip away all the noise and get down to the core mechanics, manifestation is almost insultingly simple. The problem is, simple doesn't sell courses, and it doesn't make for dramatic YouTube thumbnails, so everyone keeps adding layers until the whole thing collapses under its own weight. So here's the stack. The only 3 steps you actually need, and I mean need, not it'd be nice to have. Step 1. Spend 60 seconds feeling that it's done. That's your one scene, your post-desire moment, felt as real and complete. Once. That's it. Not 10 times, not every hour. Once, with full presence and authentic emotion. Step 2. Dedicate 90 minutes a day to active presence, where you're in flow doing something that absorbs you completely. And during that time, you don't think about your desire at all. You're living, creating, moving, being fully here. Step 3. Follow one micro nudge per day. Just one. That random impulse to reach out, to explore, to shift your routine slightly. Honor it and see where it leads. That's the entire system. 3 steps. No rituals, no moon phases, no needing to charge anything or wait for the perfect planetary alignment. You're the one placing the order. Reality is the contractor building it. And your job is to trust the process without micromanaging every nail and board. Here's the reframe that makes this easier to stick with. Imagine you hired a world-class builder to construct your dream house. You gave them the blueprint, you paid the deposit, and they've started working. Now, would you show up at the construction site every single day, questioning their methods, suggesting they use different tools, hovering over their shoulder asking when it'll be done? No. You'd drive them insane, slow down the process, and probably make them want to quit. You'd check in occasionally, sure, but mostly you'd trust that they know what they're doing and let them work. That's your relationship with the universe. You're the client. Reality is the contractor. You've placed the order through your clear intention and feeling. Now step back, live your life, follow the breadcrumbs when they appear, and let the construction happen without you micromanaging every detail. The less you interfere, the faster it builds. But here's the thing. While the bridge is forming, you're going to start noticing things, and how you handle those observations makes all the difference. There's a fine line between noticing evidence and becoming addicted to hunting for proof, and most people cross that line without realizing it. When you're on the bridge, things start shifting. Small coincidences, unexpected conversations, opportunities that seem to appear out of nowhere. These are legitimate breadcrumbs, confirmations that the process is working. But here's where it gets tricky. The moment you start needing these signs to feel secure, the moment you're refreshing reality like it's your email inbox waiting for a job offer, you've slipped back into lack. You're no longer trusting, you're monitoring. And monitoring is just fear dressed up as awareness. The goal isn't to ignore evidence. That's denying reality and pretending you don't care, which is just another form of resistance. The goal is to acknowledge it lightly, label it mentally as bridge, and keep moving forward without attaching your entire sense of certainty to whether or not signs show up on your preferred timeline. Here's a practical way to handle this. When you notice a coincidence, a synchronicity, or something that feels connected to your desire, give it a mental tag. Just a quick bridge moment, and then release it. Don't journal about it for 30 minutes analyzing what it means. Don't text 5 friends saying, OMG, you won't believe what just happened. This has to mean it's coming. Don't take it as proof that you need to double down on techniques, or, worse, as permission to finally relax because now it's real. It was already real the moment you felt it done in the causal plane. These physical evidences are just the scaffolding appearing as the bridge builds. They're not the bridge itself. Think of it like driving at night with your headlights on. You can only see a few feet ahead, but that's enough to keep moving forward. You don't need to see the entire highway lit up from start to finish. You just need enough light for the next stretch, and then the next, and then the next. Let's get specific with some examples of what these micro-victories actually look like in everyday life, because they're often so subtle that people miss them entirely. You've been wanting to shift careers, and suddenly a friend mentions a company that's hiring. Not the exact position yet, but it's the industry. Bridge moment. You've been desiring financial ease, and you find $20 in an old jacket pocket, or someone unexpectedly pays you back a loan you'd written off. Bridge moment. You've been calling in a relationship, and you overhear a conversation about healthy communication that gives you a new perspective. Or you feel genuinely content being alone for the first time in months. Bridge moment. None of these are the final manifestation, but they're evidence that the energy is moving, that the causal has started bleeding into the physical. Acknowledge them, smile internally, and keep walking. Don't camp out at the milestone waiting for the next one. That's how you stall momentum. The bridge doesn't need you to validate every plank of wood. It just needs you to keep walking with quiet confidence, trusting that the path is forming beneath your feet, even when you can't see the whole thing yet. So, here's the real question. Now that you know how the bridge actually works, what are you going to do with this information? Are you going to keep hopping between techniques like you're channel surfing, or are you finally going to commit to the walk? Because, here's what nobody tells you. Knowledge without application is just entertainment. You can watch every video, read every book, understand every concept, and still be stuck in the exact same place a year from now, if you don't actually implement what you've learned. The bridge doesn't care how much you know, it only responds to what you do. So let me ask you this. What's the one desire you've been overthinking, overcomplicating, and desperately trying to force into existence? What would happen if you stripped away all the excess, followed the 3-step stack for just 14 days, and trusted the process without micromanaging every detail? What if the only thing standing between you and your manifestation isn't the universe's timing? It's your refusal to stay on the bridge long enough to reach the other side. Here's the challenge, and I want you to take this seriously. Pick one thing. Not 5, not your entire dream life all at once. One desire. Apply exactly what we just covered. 60 seconds of feeling it's done, 90 minutes of active presence daily, and following one micro nudge without hesitation. Do that for 2 weeks, and then come back and tell me nothing shifted. I'll wait. But I already know what's going to happen. You're going to start seeing the scaffolding appear, the breadcrumbs showing up, the invisible GPS guiding you in ways that'll make you wonder how you ever doubted this process. The bridge is real. It's always been there, and it's waiting for you to stop panicking and just walk. The question is, are you ready to stop being a spectator in your own manifestation and actually become the person who crosses over? Or are you going to stay stuck in the middle, watching everyone else reach their desires while you keep restarting from square one? If you're serious about this, if you actually want to understand manifestation at a level most people never reach, then subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. Because we're going deeper into the mechanics, the psychology, the real-world application that separates people who manifest consistently from people who just talk about it. This isn't surface-level content. This is the blueprint. Don't just watch and disappear. Stay with this, apply it, and let's build that bridge together. The next video is going to blow your mind even more, but only if you're here to catch it. So subscribe, activate those notifications, and let's keep walking. Your manifestation is waiting on the other side. And trust me, it's worth the journey.